Greetings, my beautiful lovelies. Is anyone here? 92 of you already here. Thanks so much for joining me. Let me adjust this a little bit. Hi, everybody. Okay, here we go. You guys have been chatting with yourselves, entertaining yourselves. Hi, everyone. Good evening. If you are on the East Coast, it is 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern time. I know this is a little bit different format. It's a live stream, but with what's been going on in this country, I felt that I needed to connect with you guys in a more immediate format and just acknowledge all the upheaval and that I'm here to show support. So today or tonight, all of the super chats will be donated to the NAACP legal fund and legal defense fund, and so if you'd like to contribute, I really appreciate it. Last Friday I did one of these live streams as well and was happy to contribute money to George Floyd's family. So thank you all for joining me for this live stream. It's a little bit different format. Thank you all for being here tonight. Tonight I'm going to be making IKEA's meatballs live on low batteries. Thank you so much. Today I'm going to be making IKEA's meatballs. So IKEA is famous for their meatballs, and many brands have been releasing their secret recipes for things, including IKEA's meatballs and Doubletree Inn's cookies, their welcome cookies. I made amazing recipe, by the way. I definitely recommend making it. We made that recipe twice. It was so stinking good. If you love chocolate chip cookies, make that recipe. Anyways, back to the plan. Clara, thank you so much. I appreciate it. So back to the plan of attack today. We are going to be making IKEA's secret meatball. This is the official recipe, and I'm going to be making them for you tonight. They include, thank you, Tim. They include the sauce as well. Cesar, thank you so much. Pups McGee, thank you guys all so much for contributing. Gregory, if you're just joining me today, I'm making IKEA's meatballs, and all of the super chats are going to the NAACP Legal Defense Fund, and so thank you all for contributing. P Creek, thank you, and Helpy Wooten. So if I don't see, I'm going to be tilting the camera downwards, and if I don't see your super chat, know that I thank you from the bottom of my heart, and thank you all for joining me. This is a different format, and yeah, it's fun to be able to see you guys in real time. So, Madeline, thank you. We're going to be making the meatballs. Now, what I found interesting, here's the cast of characters right here. The meatballs are made kind of similar to Italian meatballs. They're a combination of meats. We have both beef and pork today. So I'm going to just angle you down. I'll also, when this is Jasmine, thank you so much. Down below, I will put a link to the original card. They, of course, made a very cute little kind of IKEA-esque card, recipe card. So I'll put that link down below in case you want to make these for yourself. So here we go. Tilting you guys down. It's so good to see. Okay, here we go. Okay, here we are. So, cast of characters here. Pretty straightforward. We don't want those are rubber gloves, nitrile gloves. We're gonna set those aside. We have beef, ground beef, or mince as you guys call it in the UK, and minced pork as well. We have, this is a half recipe. I did some of the prep for this already. So this is a half batch, and the original batch is what I'm going to read you. 500 grams of ground beef, which is a little less than a pound. We have 250 grams of ground pork, which is about a little less than a half pound. We have 1 egg. We have 100 grams of breadcrumbs. And let's see, what else do we have? Oh, we have minced onion here. This is half of a minced onion. And this is half a clove of garlic. And this is, oh, sorry, I just jumbled everything up. Sorry, guys. This is, these are half measurements. This is a whole egg. It's supposed to be 100 grams. A whole onion minced up, and 1 clove of garlic, and 5 tablespoons of milk. But what is displayed here is half amounts. Okay, so I've got myself a bowl here, and I'm gonna go ahead and put on these nitrile gloves because we're going to be squishing everything together. So in goes the ground beef. Doink. Ground pork. Bink. Oh, I almost forgot salt and pepper. Okay. Egg. I've just beaten that up a little bit. And breadcrumbs. This is actually 100 grams. We only need 50 because this is a half batch. So breadcrumbs, half a minced onion. Okay. Garlic and some milk. So it's basically a lot like a meatloaf. Now we're gonna salt this. Good amount of salt. It doesn't say exactly how much. I would say about a teaspoon. Then we've got some black pepper. Boop. I like pepper, so I'm gonna put a good amount. Okay, now we're gonna use impeccably clean hands or nitrile gloved hands and give this a good squinch. Ooh, that peppery wants to make me sneeze. Okay, so squish that all together. And we're making ourselves the paste for our meatballs. Now give this a good knead. Now that I look at this, I probably could have chopped my onions a little bit finer. It said finely chopped, but I think even grated would be better because look, you can see the chunks of onion in there. So I did make some of these in advance, so I think we're gonna be fine. Okay, so once that's all well kneaded, I'm gonna go grab a plate real quick. And we're going to shape these into meatballs. Here we go. So, IKEA's meatballs are pretty small, well not small, but you know, they're about that big, like an inch. They'll shrink a little bit when we fry them. So, roll in the meatballs. I have to say, it's a real pleasure to roll meatballs when you have gloves on because I love meatballs, but the rolling process, I don't like it when my hands smell like garlic and onion afterwards. I know, you know, my favorite trick to use for that is to use a stainless steel, you know, spoon or something, and you rub your spoon with your, anyways, that helps somewhat. So we're gonna do all this ball rolling, right? Roll the balls. You get an idea of that, right? Meatballs, simple. So I like that number, 7. So you don't need me to roll all the meatballs. You know what this, meatballs rolled. Okay, now let me take these off. Just be right back. Okay, hi, I'm back. Thanks you all for joining me today. Today we're live streaming, making IKEA's meatballs. Thank you guys so much for contributing. All super chats will be donated to the NAACP Legal Defense Fund. So thank you all for contributing and thank you all for joining me today. It's super exciting to see you live. So I've rolled the meatballs. Now, one would think that these would be ready to cook right now, but they are not. According to the instructions, we're supposed to refrigerate these for 2 hours. I know, there's some preparation that has to happen if you're gonna make this. So now I'm gonna go put this in the refrigerator and wait for 2 hours. No, just kidding, ha ha ha, ha. Da 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 da. Fwing. Ah. There we have it. There we have it. That, I think they call it, do they call that a swap out? That is a swap out. So I made a batch of these, you know, a few hours ago, just so I could do the next step. Okay, let me clean up my mess here a bit. See, this is what you miss when I do regular videos, is all this like, let me clean up for a second. Okay, jump. Okay, now we need to cook these. So, got a cast iron skillet here. I'm gonna move this back. Thank you, Marissa. Okay, can you see? Yes, now you can see my frying pan. Okay, so I've got a cast iron skillet here, and I'm gonna heat it up. I'm gonna heat it up. Yes. Okay, so I'm gonna angle the camera back down again. It's a little chaotic, guys, but it's all good. Okay. Oh. Okay. All right, there. Can y'all see that? Super. Now, we're gonna heat this up and we're gonna add some oil. I'm using olive oil because this is what I've got, but feel free to use whatever oil you've got on hand. I'm gonna get this nice and toasty and get yourself something to squinch this all around. Okay. All right, so we're preheating the pan. It's important to get your pan nice and hot. And your balls should be cold. Right? Hot, cold. Okay. Ready? Not yet. So while my pan's heating up, how's your day been? Yeah. Mine too. Oh. I see that it's Zion's birthday. Happy birthday, Zion. Oh, thank you so much. I see you. Super sticker. Thank you, thank you. Happy birthday, Zion. Okay. I know, it takes a long time for cast iron to heat up because it's such a heat sink. It takes a while. All right, let's see if these are ready. See, you don't get much of a sizzle because it's not quite ready yet, but there's a little bit of a sizzle. There, we're getting a sizzle there. Okay, balls into pan. Now I'm gonna give this, my balls have gotten a little bit flat on one end, so I'm gonna give them a little squish, just so they kind of are round. Okay, now we've got some sizzling action here. Do you hear that? Okay, we don't wanna overcrowd our pan here. We wanna have enough heat. Otherwise, our pan will be too cold to give us a nice sear. So we're gonna have these in here so they get nice and caramelized. You know, caramelized, however you say it. I say it, potato, potato, tomato, tomato. Okay. Doink, doink. I think that's probably good for now. Go wash my hands. Okay, now, I'm gonna turn this handle towards me a little bit and just see how these are doing. Yeah, give them a little kind of quarter turn. Oh yeah, we're looking good. Okay, good. And we're just gonna brown these on all sides until they're nice and browned, as meatballs should be. Personally, sometimes when I make meatballs, I just pop them into the oven. And I don't even do this step, but that's just my thing, you know? But I'm doing what IKEA says I should do. Ooh, that one looks great. Okay. Okay. Get these balls. Okay, this is really spattering all over the place, y'all. Woo! Okay, lovelies. Things I do for you. Look at that one. That one is looking fine. Okay. As is that one. See, ooh, yep. Yep. Okay. Balls are frying. Frying balls. Now. Frying balls. Can you see them frying? Frying the balls. Okay. So, be patient with these. You don't want them to burn. That one almost wanted to burn on me. And you want them to be caramelized on all sides. That Maillard effect, right? Okay, yeah, you're looking good too. Okay, so let me get a pair of chopsticks, my favorite utensil. Let's see if we can do this. that kind of rolls and dislodges all the meatballs. So try to get all the pink spots kind of toasted up. Okay, this one's looking good. And squeeze it. Okay. So as these start to get cooked up like this one, look at that, beautiful. So I'm gonna set these aside. All right, blink. All right, so pretend these are all completely brown, okay? Okay, so we're gonna just take these all out. These need a couple more minutes, but we're just gonna keep on going here. I'm gonna kill the heat. Take these out. Woo. Yowzers. Yowzers, yowzers. It's spattering all over the place. Okay. Whew. It's getting smoky in here. Okay. So. All right. Set this aside for just a minute. So what we're supposed to do now is put this into a baking pan of some kind and cover it, and then place these into an oven. What's the temperature? Does it say? I'm not sure, I forget. Like a 300, no, it says in a warm oven. So maybe 250 degrees, and you're gonna put that in there for a half an hour so that the meatballs can be fully cooked, right? So this actually needs a little bit more caramelization, but you get the idea. Okay, so cover these, put them in the oven, half an hour. Now you have this. Ah, meatballs, warm, cooked, right? Okay. Keep them covered so they stay cozy and stuff. Then you bring another tray of ingredients. Wow! And you go to your grocery store and you search and search until you find lingonberry jam, because this is essential. Because my IKEA is not open, so you gotta have this, you gotta have that. Okay, set that aside because you don't need it yet. Okay, now we're gonna make our sauce. Okay. So bring in this thing again. Remember this thing? Yep, this thing. And I'm gonna drain most of that excess oil out of the pan. Okay. See, this thing is hot. Drain the excess oil out. Okay. Now, heat this back up. And you want your flame on, you know, like medium. Now we're gonna add 40 grams of butter, which is about 3 tablespoons. Melt that in there. Whoa, see, the pan is hot. Take it easy. Okay. Butter likes to burn, so we don't want it to burn. Now, you're gonna add 40 grams and an equal amount of flour. That's about 5 tablespoons. We're making a roux. So, na. If you're just joining me, I'm making IKEA meatballs. This is their secret recipe they released for lockdown. And all super chats will be donated to the NAACP Legal Defense Fund. Thanks, everybody. Okay, so we're just gonna cook this up. We're getting our roux cooked up here. And this is gonna add a ton of flavor and it's gonna thicken our sauce. We're making a cream sauce, essentially. So a good roux is the secret to so many dishes. We're just cooking it to get the raw flour flavor out. and toasting it gives it just a ton of flavor. So that's why I didn't bother to wash out the pan, so I could get all those beefy juices and stuff. Yeah. All right. So now that that's cooked up, it just doesn't take much time at all, just a couple minutes. Now we're gonna add some veggie stock. This is 150 milliliters, or about a half a cup. And add it slowly. And it will turn to a sauce. Basically, this is a gravy, right? Okay, settle down, Pete. Okay. Da, 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 da. This is just instant bouillon stuff, by the way. It's just better than bouillon, you know, this stuff. Yeah, added some water to that. And this is the veggie. So I'm gonna switch to this thing. It's called a whisk. It's gonna make some scratching noises, sorry. Okay, here we go. Okay, heat's still on, the pan's really hot. Okay, dump the rest of that in. So, that was the veggie stock. And now we were gonna add an equal amount of beef broth. So another 150 milliliters, or about a half a cup. You don't want to dump in the broth too quickly, otherwise your gravy is going to be lumpy. This is pretty thick though, isn't it? Do 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 do. Okay. All right. So pretty thick gravy here. It's gonna be a lot of gravy. All right, so gravy's coming along here. And this is the beef stock. So no salt in this because both the veggie bouillon and the beef bouillon are very salty. There we go. Alrighty. It's tempting to rush this process, but again, we don't want a lumpy gravy. Unless you do want a lumpy gravy, then by all means, dump it in. Okay, so, all right, that's looking pretty luscious. Still pretty thick. Why? Because we haven't added the cream. So the recipe calls for double cream, but I don't have double cream. I have heavy cream. So in goes the heavy cream. This is what's gonna make it taste luscious and rich. Well, besides the butter. There we go. Okay, rest of the cream. Da, da, da. Make sure you get all that in there. Okay, we're almost there. Almost there, almost there. Okay, so at this point, the gravy's just about done, and we've got, I think, a pretty good gravy consistency once we get all this cream in there. Okay, now we can just use our rubber spatula. Actually, this isn't a rubber spatula, it's a silicone spatula, just to get the last bit of cream in there. Okay. Lovelies, look at that. That is looking gorgeous. That's like the perfect consistency gravy. I mean, yeah. Thanks, IKEA. Thanks, Sweden. Although the US makes some pretty crackin' gravies too. Did you hear that? I just burped. Okay, so there is pretty much the gravy. But two kind of ingredients that I thought were kind of interesting. Soy sauce, 2 teaspoons. Whoa, did I just blow it? Okay, I didn't. Never would have thought of this, right? 2 teaspoons of soy sauce. I should have probably tasted that for salt. Oh well. Okay, let's taste it. Get it all over your face. Oh my gosh. Price $4.25. Thanks so much. It's actually not too salty. I am so glad. Okay, so we have 2 teaspoons of soy sauce, and then we're gonna add this, some Grey Poupon Dijon mustard. It doesn't have to be Grey Poupon, I just got Grey Poupon. Okay, oh look, it's new, I love that. Rinse off my spoon. I had to go rinse off my spoon so I didn't contaminate things. Okay, so 1 teaspoon of mustard. Moutarde, right there. Bum-bum. And work that in there. Doopy-doopy-doopies. And my lovelies, that is our gravy. Do-do-do-do. Looking gorgeous. Okay, so just make sure that everything is fully incorporated. Okay, looking good. Look at that. I don't think I have to adjust for anything in terms of consistency. Let's give it a taste. Yeah. Is this considered an itadakimasu? Itadakimasu. No, it's good. It's pretty salty. But it's good. I like that little kick of Dijon in there. And the cream makes it nice and rich. But there's something that you can't quite pinpoint. And it must be that combination of Dijon and soy sauce, huh? All right, let's plate this up. Beep, 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 beep. Ladies and gentlemen, I am sweating. Look, this is not highlighter, this is sweat. Okay, let's see. Let's clear out some space here. Yeah, and can you see what I'm doing? Let me move this back so you guys can see what I'm doing a little bit. Whoa, my light got a little bright. All right, can you see? Okay. Okay, now, just let me clear some space, okay? Okay. Now, whoa. Grab a plate so we can make ourselves a beautiful Swedish meatball dinner. All right, put the raw balls away. You don't want any raw balls. We want warm balls. So, all right, here we go. Got some spuds here. Usually you would have this with mashed, Jess, thanks so much. Usually we would have this with mashed potatoes, but I have buttered potatoes here. Just cut up buttered potatoes, yeah? And I've got my warm balls, and I've got some lingonberry jam. Lingonberries by Felix. I've never had this brand before. Look, it even says a delicacy from Sweden. So I've had lingonberry jam that I bought at IKEA before, but not this one. Ah, I like it. Okay, let's make this beautiful. Oh, I need some parsley. Parsley's nice. Okay, bye for now. I'm gonna just, do this so you can see what I'm doing. Okay. All right. There we go. So, here's the plate. Here's the gravy. Nice and hot and bubbly. I'm gonna keep stirring that so it doesn't get a skin on it. Boy, that came together very quickly, that sauce. Alrighty, let me turn this handle away like that. And let's plate this up. So, got some buttered spuds here, just spuds. Even got some skin on it. See that? Skin. Doopies. Okay, I'm gonna flip that over. Spuds, nice and buttered and warm. Okay, now we've got bowls, nice and warm and toasty. How many do they normally give you when you go to IKEA? I don't know. Well, anybody know how many? Well, how many? 8. 8, they do 8. Okay, 8. Thank you. This is why I like live streams, because I can get an answer right away. Okay, I can't count though. How many do I have on my plate? 7. I like 7 though. Okay, I'll go with 8, fine. 8 bowls. Looking pretty nice. Now, 8 bowls, got a greasy plate, got some spuds. Let's just put all the spuds on there. That spud needs to go over here. Okay. Dun, 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 dun. Okay. Now, we're gonna sauce these up. Okay. Gravy. They put the gravy on them? They do, don't they? You can see I'm not a IKEA meatball expert, but follow the recipe. That's looking really nice, lovelies. Are you hungry? Okay, turn this around. Oh, okay. Make sure each one has some, okay? Okay. Now, I'm gonna do lingonberry. Yeah. Right there. And then I'm gonna add some parsley. Parsley, I love parsley so much. Boop-a-doop-a-doops. Parsley, 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 parsley. Okay. You know. Oh, my lovelies. Look, there we have it. Homemade IKEA meatballs, Swedish meatballs with homemade sauce. We have a gravy and spuds. And we've got our lingonberries too. All right, let's give this a taste. Oops. Let me grab a fork. And a knife. Okay, let's see. Let's cut into one of these and see what it looks like inside. Yep, looks like a meatball. Oops. All right. I'm gonna tilt you one last time to get this reaction, right? Da, da, da. Hello, beautiful lovelies. Thanks for joining me. If you're just joining me, as you probably could see from the title, I am making IKEA's secret recipe. Natalie, thanks so much. Whew. I'm hot, I'm overheating. I'm making IKEA's secret recipe for meatballs. I made the meatballs and the gravy just now, and I will also put a link down below to that. And all of today's proceeds for Super Chats are going to the NAACP Legal Defense Fund. Thank you guys so much for joining me for this, and for all of you for contributing. Alrighty, so I got myself a meatball. I'm gonna eat the one that I cut open, just because, I don't know, I should. Let's just try the meatball first. Ooh, but I'm gonna try it without the lingonberry first, and then I'll try the lingonberry. All right, here we go. Itadakimasu. That's pretty good. Salty though, definitely salty. So I would put less gravy, or maybe thin the gravy out so it wouldn't be as salty. I would have to say the texture is a little bit different. Now, Cindy got in touch with me. She DM'd me on Instagram and she said that she tried this recipe and she found that the texture was a little bit better when she froze them, which I totally agree. Maybe she said when she froze them and defrosted them, they were a little bit more similar. And I would imagine that that would improve the texture too. These are a little bit softer in texture than IKEA's. IKEA's are a little bit like rubbier. They're kind of bouncy. And maybe that could be, there's a Chinese technique for making dumplings for that kind of chewy texture. You really whip the meat and knead it around, but these instructions didn't specify for any of that, so I didn't do it. But maybe that would improve the texture. But the flavor is great. Really great kind of oniony flavor, great flavor of the sauce. I would say the flavor is pretty close. The onions also are a little bit big, so I would suggest grating your onions if you make this recipe. Pretty delicious though. Now I'm gonna have a spud. Potatoes are so good. Potatoes are so good. Camilla, Mary, thank you guys so much for contributing. Alrighty, now let's try the lingonberry. Lingonberries, here we go. This actually has like chunks of lingonberry in it. Yeah, beautiful. Now, this combination of sweet and salty, yes, here we go. Let's do this. Potato. Delicious. You know what? I think I actually like the homemade ones better than the IKEA. In terms of flavor, I think these ones taste better than IKEA. Is that sacrilegious to say? I don't know. I think these ones taste better than the store ones. But the texture of the store ones are, I think, a little bit better. They're a little bit more, they've got more of a bounce. But yeah, these are pretty stinking delicious. And I'm gonna say it, but I think the lingonberry jam, do they call it jam? They just say lingonberries. This stuff is essential. Yes, Greg, thank you so much. So I think the jam is really essential. Maybe it's because it's so salty that this really kind of compensates for that. But I don't know. No, it actually adds a lot of complexity. It's tangy, it's sour, it's fruity, and it's sweet too. Yeah, so good. If you've never had this combination of savory meat with lingonberry before, it reminds me a lot of like turkey dinner when you have a cranberry sauce with turkey, just like that. Like, it's like essential. So good. Alrighty, my lovelies. Thank you so much for joining me for this live stream. And thank you so much for contributing, those of you that could. These are really serious times, but I wanted to show my support. And if you want to learn more about what I'm doing to educate myself, to learn about things, follow me on social media. I've been sharing on my Insta stories things that I've been reading, things that I've been looking at, but definitely listening, learning, and yeah, supporting. So thank you guys again for joining me. Thank you guys for allowing me to do what it is that I do, for supporting me, and yeah, thanks for watching. All right, it's nighttime here, so if you're on the East Coast, have a good night. If you are on some other part of the planet, have a good evening, good night, good morning, and yes, thanks again for joining me. And yeah, go make yourself some meatballs or veggie balls or whatever balls you want to make for yourself, because you deserve it. All right, you guys take care. Please continue to be safe and well, and yeah, sending strength. All right, love you guys.